What's up, everyone? It's Matt Rosick, aka MVM3897. So I posted a video last night of me doing the leather on the gun holster and the knife sheath. And so the next really major step I have to do is get the zombies pretty much done. So I'm going to start tackling that tonight. And initially I was going to do an enamel wash over all this, but I've tried enamel wash in the past. I'm not good at them. So I decided to do this step with pigments. I just feel like they work for me. I have more control over them and I can get it exactly where I want. So what I'm doing right now, I just started this and I figured I might as well throw on the camera and record this, because a lot of what I do is trial and error and just playing around. And so you can watch me do that, and I'll record for a while, but I'm not sure how far I'll get in this video. But so I've got a bunch of big pigments out in here. I've got a bunch from their sci-fi fantasy line, and then just some normal ones. So this one's actually called Plasma Burn, and it's kind of a bluish. This one is Zombie Green, which is appropriate because we're doing zombies. This one is Volcanic Ash. This one is Industrial City Dirt. The one I'm using right now as the beginning is the Fantasy Graveyard Dirt, which is appropriate. Got some Volcanic Ash. No, sorry, Black Smoke. Martian Dust, and Vietnam Earth. So I bought these pigments a long time ago. If you haven't tried the big pigments, they're really good. I don't do a whole lot of pigments, so I've had these for years and I have barely even gone through any of them. So you can kind of see here on this first zombie, I've gone through and I've just kind of darkened some of these shadows. And I'm going to go pretty drastic, so that's why I'm starting off with this Graveyard Dirt. I want to bring out some of these wrinkles. So it's pretty simple. I'm just going to go in here and lay it in there. And I'm not being super neat about it. Lay it in there and kind of fan it out a little bit. So I know a lot of guys I'm usually pretty heavy-handed with the pigments, and these were previously sealed with some Tester's Dull Coat, which has got a little sheen to it now since I've been handling these a lot. You'll notice here I got this nasty looking run. This was from when I was painting these and I didn't have the lid on my airbrush, and actually spilt paint down the back of them, and I kind of freaked out for a second. I'm like, oh well, I'll just leave it there, because by the time I'm done with it, you won't be able to tell that it's something that's been spilt, but it'll blend in and it may just look like another skin defect. So I just left it there. But at first I was kind of freaking out, like, oh my gosh, I just went through 30 steps and I just ruined it. Because I was like right at the end of, you can see some blue, it was right at the end when I was just kind of doing some modeling with some transparent blue colors. But as I work on this, it should blend into everything else I'm doing. So I'm just going to go in here and I'm going to darken the shadows. I'm not going to worry too much about the wound areas, because that's going to get all done with the blood colors I did previously on the base. So, but already just doing those few little creases has made like night and day. Because when I was doing these, I can't figure out why I'm not getting the look I want. I just finally realized that they were just flat, like there was no dimension to them. So I'm just going to go between each pot. I'm not going to worry about cleaning my brush off and everything. And so like for the veins and stuff, I'm going to go in here and actually just go over the veins with some of this green and blue. And then when I'm done with it, they'll get blended in a little bit. But I'm actually going to kind of just do some light treatment on the veins with this green and this plasma dust, or plasma burn. And it's going to be subtle by the time it's all done, but it should kind of have a cool effect. That brush. I need to do a serious round of brush cleaning. These are all when I get going really hardcore on something. Let me make sure I'm in camera. When I get going really hardcore on something, I forget to maintain my tools, and I've got to go through and do that. So again, this is me just playing. There's no science or formula to this, but for right now I'm just going to go around. I'm going to just kind of bring out these veins a little bit. And I don't care if it's super neat or anything, again, just because this will all get blended in eventually. So I'm just kind of making sure I hit the high spots there, and that looks pretty cool already. So yeah, so I'll just be going back and forth a lot on these. The very last step I'll do is I'll paint the wounds, you know, layer in all those clear reds and everything. It'll look really cool. So the few things I've seen painted up of the zombies are all like one tone. They're all brown. But I just, you know, did some, you know, went online and looked at some reference photos of like stuff from the show The Walking Dead and other zombies, and none of them were brown. They were like kind of grayish, blue, green tones. So, yeah, I didn't want brown because it's just boring. So, and then I got some good feedback on my base as far as whether I should leave it red or go in and paint some of the stones, and I've gotten kind of an equal amount of feedback going both ways. So I think what I'm gonna do is, once I get the zombies done and I get them on the base and I'll see what it looks like, I think I'll decide then whether if I want to go and pick out some of the stone. I wouldn't paint all the stone, quite frankly. That would take forever, and also I just don't think that would look good. I think it'd be too clean. What I need is I need a clean soft brush. Here we go. So I like to put on the pigments pretty heavy, and then I like to kind of wipe it away with a clean brush, and it just kind of blends it in a little bit. But already those veins are looking really good. Daddy, yeah.
Can you put in the batteries?
For controller? Yeah. Okay, let me pause, guys. I'll be right back. All right, back again. So I need to get batteries for the remote for Xbox. So I forgot where it was, but anyway, yeah, so as far as the base goes, I'm gonna get the zombies done and see how they look and how they kind of pop off of everything. But so far I've been doing this for this is what I'm doing right now, for like 5 minutes, and it's already looking much better. Just getting some more dimension to this guy. I was talking about the base as far as leaving it bloody or painting stone, and I got some good feedback. Some people said, just leave it bloody, it looks really good. Other people said break it up, looks too bloody. My initial thought right now is just to leave it. I kind of like it. It does add it does create a lot of contrast between the Punisher and the base. So we'll see. We'll see after I get the zombies done if I need another layer of contrast in there. So what I probably should have done is I probably should have done the veins first. See, and then gone in and done my shadowing, because it would make sense that the veins would be within the shadows too. So I'm gonna do that first and go through and do all these veins. I'm gonna go through with green first. I think I'm gonna hit them all with this green because it's looking really good. And then I'll go in with that blue plasma burn and just do a little touch here and there on them. Because these don't have to be like, you know, your typical varicose veins, which are kind of purple and blue and red. You know, it's a zombie. This guy's dead, so I think I can pretty much do what I want. I'm not sure you can see it in camera, but I did a lot of flecking on these guys, and I mentioned it last night. There's more flecking paint on. There's more flecks of paint on my work surface than on these guys. But at first I thought, oh man, I went really heavy, because I did. I put a ton on there. But as I layered more paint on there, it just gave it a really nice kind of, just gave some texture to the skin, so it's not so flat. I'm trying to do this in camera, so you guys can see what I'm doing. But I'm gonna record for a while, and we'll see how long this goes. Maybe I can get this guy done on camera. Because now, once I figure out a way I want to do something, it doesn't take too long. It's kind of figuring out how I want to do it. Like the leather gun holster. It took a while because I didn't know exactly how to get the effect I wanted. But once I figured it out, it didn't take too long. Like the knife took 25 minutes, 30 minutes to do, which is not bad. Okay, this guy doesn't have too many veins. Hold on, let me get my camera camera. Again, sorry for the awesome videography. Let's get this other zombie out of the way for now. These zombies are actually kind of beat up a little bit because I've been handling so much, which is, again, I was kind of paranoid about. It's like, it just adds to the effect of them being worn, dead guys. Let's see. So there's a lot of veins on this side, on his right side. Not too many on his left. There's one. So it's kind of hard to see. There's actually so much detail on these, it's kind of hard to pick them out. So as I said before, if you like this kit, I recommend getting it. I think it's a good kit. It's got the 3D printing little issue, but that's no big deal. I didn't think it was a big deal till what's his face turned into an idiot and insulted me for no reason. I'm like, dude, calm down. And he even asked me to I told him I'll do it I told Andre, hey, I'll do an unboxing, I'll do a review. He's like, yeah, that's great, dude. Yeah, tell me what you think about it. And I did, and he didn't like my response. So I was like, okay. Someone's got some problems. Anyway. But I'd get it. I mean, if I want, I'd get this kit. Even knowing that it had those 3D things in there, but which is no problem. Again, I don't care that I didn't care that they were there. I just cared the way. I think that's really it for veins on this guy. I'm not seeing anything. I wish I had some like, I don't have any purple. I would love to go in here with some purples and stuff in the guts with some purple pastels. That'd look cool. Purple and red pastels. And then go over them with the red. Okay, now we're gonna get this plasma burn. Now this actually has a light metallic look to it, which is okay, but I'm just gonna I'm not gonna go over them all. I just want to add another tone. And you're probably not even gonna see it in camera. It's pretty subtle. And it'll even get knocked down more by the time I'm done with all this, but it is adding a little bit here, not too much. Again, I like to have a clean brush by, and I don't know, the way I do pastels, I like to put it on pretty heavy and then brush away like excess, and it seems to work for me for what I do. But yeah, that blue's adding just another little tone here and there. And I've already got some blues already in there from when I did my initial airbrushing. But even though this has metallic in it, it's really not showing up as metallic. Simply because I'm not going over black. And if it gets on there, who cares? I mean, just rub it in. Adds another tone. Yeah, so like this area right here is looking really good. There's a vein right there. I'll just do that one in blue. And this blue plasma burn. But this area this area right here is looking really good. So now if I go in there and add my shadow color, I don't want that one. It's this one. Like that, and then I take my brush and just kind of blend it out. That's looking pretty good. Looking pretty nice. There's some veins here I didn't see, or didn't really notice. It has a lot of detail in it, that is for sure. See, I don't care if I get green there. I may come back in here and just do some green. Pick up a little bit of this green and just kind of dry brush it on some places. So basically I'm still just kind of base cutting this guy. I'm not even, still trying to really get an overall tone. I actually kind of like the green on him. Looks kind of good. It is zombie green. Yeah, so I'm not doing this real carefully. I'm just kind of going with what feels like looks good. Lots of back and forth. When I first started to lay down my base colors, I was taking pictures of all the steps, and then it just got to the point like, oh my gosh, there's too many freaking pictures. And it's taking me way too long, so I'm stopping to take photos of all the paints and all the different layers I was doing. I was like, I gotta stop doing this. I'll be here like all night just doing that kind of stuff. So I stopped taking pictures of all the different layers because it was getting out of hand. It's getting too much. Maybe I'll take some of this plasma burn and just kind of dot it around a little bit. Again, just playing around. This area right here is kind of exactly what I'm going for. I'm going to brighten it up though a little bit with some dry brushing, I think. I'm going to start working really on the shadows with this. That was a little heavy. A little heavy right there. It's okay. Go back with a smaller brush. Give me more control. So this is going to get pretty dark before I'm done, I think. So like if I come in here, I'm thinking with this, what is this? Industry City dirt. It's kind of like a middle tone gray, and hit the high spots. So what I'm finding now is that I'm probably going to have to seal these again and with some dull coat, because I think, or I'll just have to dry brush it. So again, I don't do a lot of pigments. What you'll find though is that eventually the pigments won't stick anymore because the dull coat or your top coat is full of pigment. So there's nowhere for the pigment to stick. It's like nothing. It doesn't have a rough surface anymore because it's full of pigment. It's getting there. Man, this is looking a lot better than it did 20 minutes ago, for sure. Sorry about the background. My son has friends over, and all they do is fighting all day. All I do is fight. It's crazy. It's quite annoying. There we go. Getting some more definition to the collarbone. The big brush really does a good job of kind of blending everything in, so it's not so drastic. It does a good job of feathering everything out. All right, I gotta pause and come back. All right, to continue on after having to grab in my kids, not my kids, my son and his friend, I'm coming here with some of this Vietnam Earth. It's actually maybe actually it does a pretty good job too. Kind of mix it up a little bit maybe. Back again. So, like 20 minutes here, so I'll run out of things to talk about, but we'll sit here and just keep playing. Again, sorry if I'm not trying to do this wall. If anyone's watching and see what I'm doing. Just going and trying to give some more definition to some of these shapes. That's why I like the pigments. I can put them exactly where I want, and then they're pretty easy to blend out. Once I'm done with all this, I'll seal these, and that way I can do some dry brushing on them. in there. It's a slow process. This doesn't go quickly, that's for sure. That makes a nice color, actually, that blue and that green. That gets the purple you need. I'm not going to worry about the bottom side of this hand because you're not going to see it. The fingers need some work. They're too light in general as far as color goes. I'll probably go in there and yellow up those fingernails a little bit. But that right there, what I just did, made a huge difference on those. Did a nice job of dirtying, I can't spit it out, dirtying them up and getting some detail into them. That looks pretty good. Yeah, I should learn my lesson the last time I did that. This is too much. I can't get it exactly where I want. So the small brush, I can get it into the crevices pretty easily and then blend it out with the big brush. He's starting to look like he just crawled out of a grave. He's getting a little brown, but that's okay. I'm going to lighten him up when I dry brush him. But that arm's looking really nice and defined now. Lots of nice detail in there. And you can still see all my layers of paint. Now they're much more subdued, but you can see all the flecking I did. And everything's still through that, which is pretty amazing. So I'll probably pause here for a little bit, continue doing this. I'll come back when I do the next thing. So I'll come back in a little bit. Okay, so I think I'm pretty happy with the pastel work on this guy. So here's what he would have looked like before. This is what before I did anything, and now this is what he looks like now. So hopefully it's showing up in camera. All the different colors I did, and all the shadows I added and stuff. But I think it's looking really good. The veins are kind of green. You know, I went in and kind of hit all the low areas, and I dabbed some of that blue around also and just kind of blended it in to give it some more tone. I think the back's looking really good. So I'm pretty happy with this. So I'm going to go ahead and seal this, and then I'll do the pastel work on the other guy and maybe do some different tones, maybe a little lighter, and then we're going to seal them up and do the next step. Okay, so we're on to the next step for the zombies. These were sealed with dull coat about an hour and a half ago. They've had a good chance to dry and everything. Again, I've got my gouache watercolors out. Someone asked me about these, and the actual brand name is Royal Langnickel, Langnickel. And right now it's a set of 24 tubes. And when I paid for it, because I looked at my order, I paid like $16, but now it's like 20 bucks. But still, it's like $1 a tube, which is crazy cheap. So my palette, I have, I got some white going on. And again, just put in my dirty palette because I really don't care. I got white, I've got some purple, blue, green, and I got a little bit of black over here that's kind of like gray because I already mixed some white into it. So right now this color that I'm working with is like really kind of like a cool gray. It's got just a hint of blue in it. And I've done a little bit of dry brushing because I want to see this is the look I wanted before I started filming, and it is. It's looking good. So let me show you what we're doing here. So let's see if this shows up in camera. So here you can see on the collarbone, I've just started this a minute ago to see if I was going to get the effect I wanted before I started doing this on camera, and it's looking good. So again, I loaded up the brush with paint, not really watery, and then I take a bunch of it off, basically most of it, all of it, and we're just going to sit here and kind of go over it. We're going to go over with this color first, and then we're going to go in there with some of the green and the blue and the purple, and just bring out all that shadow detail we did in the previous step with the pastels. And so what I want is I want the zombie itself to kind of look dusty and dry, except for where he's got the wounds, where I'll gloss coat that and make that all wet and icky looking. So again, this is just another layer on top of everything I've done, and it's looking really good. Everything's playing together really nice. They're playing well. And the hair, I haven't decided what to do about the hair yet. Maybe I don't know. People have told me to do that leather treatment on the eye patch, and I'll do that. I think that's a good idea. And I got to figure out how to do the dead eye too. He's got one eye, but it's not looking so good. So we're going to go over the whole thing with this. Again, if you start to I've got a paper towel down here that I'm dabbing my brush off to get this off. So this is a long video, so if you guys don't mind watching for an hour or so, you can watch me dry brush and stuff. Actually, I need to put a glove on because I really don't mind kind of touching it when it's damp, but I don't want fingerprints. On this subject matter, I really don't care if I'm kind of touching it while it's damp. Again, this is just gonna, so I'm just dry brushing it on there. Just a tiny bit of water, because these are starting to dry out a little bit. Yep, I just picked up a little green, that's okay. It's alright, we'll play with it. In the spot where I spilt my paint, you can't even see it now. It's all been blended in by all the steps. So this kit in general, I really haven't been, like all my figure kits I've done in the past, I've always like done it where the light source is from the top, so I'd always concentrate highlights on the top and shadows on the bottom. This one, I'm not really concerning myself with that too much because it's a comic, and it's just, I'm just kind of making it, I'm just going with the flow. I'm not concerning myself with stuff like that. If I like the way it looks, I do it. I'm not like, okay, well, I have to think of where the light source is. I'm gonna make it go here and make this spot brighter. I'm just really just playing with stuff and making it look cool. And so far, I'm happy with everything. I need a little more water. I may have to mix up some more white here. This ghost should dry up pretty quick, so I probably shouldn't have put all those different colors in my palette right away, but it's okay. I can always add water, and it will activate again. And this bottom, that's too much paint. This bottom side I'm really not too worried about because you don't see it at all. So even though that's probably I don't care. Oh man, it's just too wet. Just gonna wipe it off. Yeah, I don't know why it's so wet. Oh well, that's why, 'cause I just added water. That's why it's wet. We want a dry brush, not wet brush. Yeah, hold on a second. I'm gonna have to. There's too much water in my brush now. Just squeeze some of it out. I'm actually gonna add a little more white to this. I like this kind of cool blue I got going on. I think I mentioned before, but there's a couple guys painting this kit right now. And I'm not sure like if their zombies are done, but what I've seen so far, they've been really kind of just brown, which is not what I want. So I picked up just a little bit of blue there to continue with this kind of cool tone. Now once I'm happy with this, I'll pick up maybe some of the purple and just do a few areas, not the whole kit, not the whole figure. There we go. There we go. And it's drying down just perfectly. So I'm not gonna keep doing this. Yeah, it's looking good, man. This dry brushing is really, really getting the look that I was hoping I would get. I did not want it brown overall. I wanted a kind of a grayish, green blue skin tone. I want him dusty looking. I want him to look dry. I don't want him to look like he's got any living flesh. I'm gonna mix some more white up. Problem is when I mix up this white, I end up putting most of it in my brush and then wiping most of it off. So I'm wasting a lot of paint, unfortunately, but this is cheap stuff, so I don't mind. I'm gonna buy another set for 20 bucks. I think I'm gonna use just use a toothpick to mix it up. That's what I'm gonna do. Grab some of this white again. There's some of the blue. I'm gonna mix it up down here. No way I'm not loading my paintbrush up with it. And it doesn't have to be perfect. So this video in there may be a couple hours for anyone who wants to sit and watch me muddle through this for a couple hours. But I think what this video I'll do is I'll try to get the skin done and then not worry about trying to do the scars because that's an airbrushing thing. But I can get the skin done tonight and maybe like the hair. I think I want to do the scars very, very last. good, man. I'm excited about this guy. Really, really. This hand looks really, really freaking amazing. Actually, I'm actually gonna come in this way a little bit because that shadow's a little harsh on the top of the knuckles there. I'm gonna blend it in a little bit. I've got a pretty hard shadow there. I always find it hard to decide how much paint to take off your brush. So if you don't take enough off, then you get a bunch at one time. Then if you take too much off, then you're like, oh crap, now I gotta put more paint on my brush. Come in here like this a little bit. I got the bat done on Negan's bat done. So Lucille, I got that done while I was waiting for. I didn't film that or anything, but I hand painted all the. I went through and hand painted the barbed wire, and then I did a kind of real loose painting of all like the fleshy gunk stuff on the bat. So when I sprayed the blood, it would actually, you'd be able to see that there's like, you know, guts on it. This may be a little bright. I'm gonna have to tone that down a little bit on the hand there, but it's looking pretty good. Again, sorry if I'm trying to make sure I'm camera, but I think I'm pretty happy with this color right now. I think I may move on to some of this purple and green. And not to go and paint the teeth and all this stuff. So there's these guys. At first, like, all these guys will be quick, and like, then I started working. I was like, no, there's all this in my head. Like, oh, it'd be pretty. This would be pretty quick to do. And then I started working on it. It's like, oh no, there's a ton of steps. So maybe what I'll do is I'll do this guy with the blue, and the other guy I'll do like a greenish white. And that way they're two different colors. Two different tones. That way they're not exactly the same, because that's not fun. Oops, got too much. But this is, once this dries, it's drying down beautifully to a nice kind of pale grayish blue. I mean, look at the back. It looks really, really nice. Hopefully that's showing up in camera. But when it dries down, whew, it's like spot on to what I wanted. I'm going to dry brush this flesh in here too. Maybe I'll dry brush that with some red and white. Looking good, looking good, looking good. Not a whole lot of detail on this part of his arm in there for some reason. Okay, this chest is looking amazing. I can still see all my pastel work and all the different airbrush layers I did earlier the other night. As this dries, and everything is just really popping. It's looking really, really cool. Oh, guys, that's looking pretty zombie-like to me. I don't know. Okay, I'm gonna add a little purple to him, I think. So I'm gonna take a little bit of this purple in my palette and add it to this white that I got going on. Some blue in this white. I'm gonna tone it down just a little bit. So I got like a lavender on my brush. So that's what I'm gonna dry brush with next, like an Easter egg lavender. And just add another tone. Because all the photos I looked at of like zombie reference, the skin was all over the place. It had really a lot of different colors going on in it. I'm not gonna do the whole kit. I'm just gonna come in here and hit a few areas. And I think I'm just gonna go down on it too. So this is a very subtle effect, but I'm seeing it's looking pretty good. I hit this hand pretty good, I think. I'm gonna have to go back. I kind of obliterated this finger. He's pretty much covered in watercolor, so I'll go back with some water and take some of it off. It's not the end of the world. It's a good thing it's watercolors because I can do that. Okay, that's looking pretty good. I'm gonna take a little bit of this green and add that. Well, green and purple. I don't know what color does green and purple make? I really don't know. Okay, so now I got this kind of like Easter egg green going on. Very similar to the green pigment I was using earlier, a little brighter. Too much water on my brush again. And just kind of going. Okay, now I think I'm gonna go in with some gray and just kind of tone all the colors down just a little bit. But he's pretty close to where I kind of had pictured them in my head. Okay, so this is kind of like a middle tone gray. And what this is going to do is just tone the colors down just a little bit. And hopefully get them to blend in a little. Because right now it's a little obvious which colors are where. So we're going to use this to kind of tone it down just a little bit. And that's working pretty good. You can still see the colors I laid down. This is just knocking them back just a little bit. Because they're a little stark in some places. So I'll do this one on camera, and then I'll do the next one off camera, so it's not the longest video in the world. Because I'm at right at an hour now. And it's an hour of me talking. I'm not sure if that's exciting for anyone. So again, this really isn't highlighting anything. This is just knocking those colors down just a tad. Because like right here, it's obvious I used green. I don't want it obvious. I'll go through white pretty quick.
Pigment. Hello.
Alright, that's pretty wet. Let's see if we can get most of this off.
Yes.
Alright, so I'm going to stop this video for here and call this work in progress 10 and call it done, because basically it's just a bunch of this again going back and forth. So but this is pretty close to what I was hoping I would get my zombies to look like. Lots of layers, lots of steps, but he's looking pretty damn good. I'll spend some more time refining all this, and then I'm not sure if I'm going to try to go in and do the blood and stuff tonight. That's going to be the last step. I think the next step on these will be to probably paint the exposed bone on this elbow, and there's really no exposed ribs. At least it doesn't look like they're exposed ribs to me. I can come in here and dry brush this, and that way when I do the blood, it's got some shading already. So it doesn't hurt to do that, I guess. And I'll go and like I did on the base, I'll go in there and I'll hit the shadows with purple before I do any of the clear reds. The clear reds I used was from Jesse Garcia's Garage Kit Colors US Blood and Gore set. Worked extremely well for doing the blood on the base. I'm really happy with how it turned out. I'd never done blood before, so it was relatively easy actually. So, but I'm gonna call this video done for now. If you watch it, all hour of it, thanks for sticking with it, and hopefully maybe you learned something or came up with an idea. But as always, this is Matt Mrozik, aka MVM3897, signing off. Bye.